I am Pam Neely. I am the creator and the founder of the Santa Fe to Taos Thru-Hike, which has definitely benefited from a sense of humor from the very beginning. So I cannot thank you enough. I wish I could get a photo of all of you. This is just absolutely amazing. This project has gotten to here because of people like you saying, oh, hell yeah, like keep going, and all that, and like, this should be. And so I will remember this hopefully the next time I'm exhausted and don't see a way forward. So I really do appreciate you coming. So my plan for the next hour is to walk through about the 7 or 8 or so most common questions people have about the thru-hike. That comes in around 20 minutes. And then I'm going to open it up and get questions from you guys, hopefully, for about 20 minutes. We're going to do maybe some purchasing, but also you're welcome to a whole table of merch in the back. I have postcards, bookmarks, stickers. I also have the special 11 by 17 maps that I've created and printed out. So both for the summary map that you've probably been seeing all over the place, and also for each one for the section maps. Those are available for $5. And that is the end of the promotion. So let's get to it. What I need to know from you guys to begin with is kind of to gauge a sense of the experience of the group here. So are there people here who have done one of the Triple Crown or the Triple Crown? Like, oh right, you've done the Triple Crown.
I don't know what the Triple Crown is. I went from Santa Fe Bald into Truchas.
Okay. The Triple Crown is the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, and the Continental Divide Trail, which I believe would be rolling in around 10,000 miles, which is, unless you walk back and forth a lot. Anyway, you have?
I did last year I did the first 367 miles of the CDT.
Awesome. That's a great, thank you. Anybody else?
John Muir Trail.
Nice. That was going to be my next question. Any of the shorter trails, like Tahoe Rim, or the aforementioned
Colorado, generally.
Colorado Trail is awesome. I've done that. What?
Another JMT.
JMT, awesome. JMTers, okay, cool. So that's great. How many backpackers are here? Just like you go, okay, awesome. All right, this is fun. How many day hikers? Cool, I love you day hikers. This is, I think you can do this. And how many people like don't really hike and just like wandered in it because they wanted to call it? Okay, good. So that's great. So I think a lot of you will probably know by now what a thru-hike is. In its simplest form, it is a long-distance backpacking trip. And so I kind of start there because a lot of people don't know what a thru-hike is. The next most common question I get about the thru-hike is how long does it take to do? If you do 10 miles a day for about 14 days, you will have completed the thru-hike. So it's, you know, if you do it straight through, it's about 2 weeks. Ooh, what are you doing? And if you're really fast, if you're a 20-mile-a-day sort of person, you can do it in a week. If you want to go a little bit more slowly, like it says, 5 to 7 miles a day, you can do it in 3 weeks. The thing to know about the thru-hike, though, despite rebellion in the tech, is it's very, you know, I made it into components because I personally have a lot of trouble escaping from life for 2 weeks at a time. And so, and I also wanted to make it accessible. And so as you can see above, and you may have heard from other materials, the thru-hike is broken into 6 sections. Each one is roughly 20 miles, and you can absolutely do it over a series of weekends. The guidebook lays that out in considerable detail. If you are a 10-mile-a-day person, you might want to split a couple of the sections into 2 weekends, or you might want to do it like as a long weekend. But like it could be done in a summer pretty easily, even if you're working full time and you're doing all the things. It can be done in day hikes and 1 to 2 night overnights. That's how I have not done the trail, but that's how I like check on the trail and update the trail a lot. And so the next question people always want to know is there water on the route? There is a ton of water. The route has been expressly designed for water. As you can see up there, I did the math one night, and 28% of the whole distance of the thru hike is either right along a creek, a stream, a river, whatever you want to call them, or it goes right by a lake. And I'm not going to rattle off all 13 lakes. But there's a lot. And so even while we may be looking at potentially, like a 30% drop in surface water or, stream flow through in New Mexico over the next couple of decades, I think this is still going to be viable. The worst part so there's water about every 3 to 4 miles. The worst part without water is between the entrance to Drake Canyon and El Nogal. And even then, as you can see, right here is American Spring. Who's been to American Spring? Cool, you're not missing anything. So American Spring is a tube that comes out of the ground that is right off South Boundary Trail and basically collects water from a seep. Not terribly attractive water to be drinking, but sometimes people doing thru hikes talk about drinking like dirt water. And so if you're used to doing like the CDT and drinking dirt water, it'll be fine. But I offer it because even like the worst section, there's water here. El Nogal, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I also want to like give you the information I hope you want to have. How about this? Let's take a temperature. Am I going too fast and in too much detail? Should I speed up or should I slow down?
Just right.
That's right. Okay, cool. Thank you. So when you come into El Nogal, there's Rio de Fernando de Taos, which is a lovely little creek. Unfortunately, El Nogal is such a lovely place that many, many people have brought their dogs. And not everybody has cleaned up after their dogs, and now we have an E. coli issue in El Nogal, which is also not very appetizing. However, I bet any one of you would, if you were really thirsty, think and be like, I think if we just walked up like a quarter mile upriver away from the dogs, we could probably get water that we could at least treat. And so that's my solution for right now. There is no flowing water, no public water from El Nogal, which given how heavily used it is, it's a shame, but it is what it is. The other longest part of the thru hike, second longest part, is between Forest Road 442 and Rio Grande del Rancho. That is in Section 5. It is not a part of the world most people know of, especially Santa Fe types. It's in Carson. It's very, very lightly used forest road, but it does exist. And even there are seeps, but I can't say there's water there because then if we have a dry season, there won't be any water there. And there is an upcoming improvement to the route of the thru hike that may address that later this year. I'm really excited about. So the next question people want to know is, when is the best time to go? Pretty much tomorrow. You can all start tomorrow. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm just going to ignore all responsibilities, just leave. June, July, and August are good. As you all know, June is fire season. Late July, we start into monsoons, which can be nice, but can also mean some potential, a little bit of funky weather. September is lovely because a lot of people have gone. Forgive me, I'm sorry. You probably understand if you're here, actually, in this room. Anyway, and early October is really glorious because the leaves are just starting, and at least in the last couple of years, it's been super warm. I mean, you might want to bring a liner for your sleeping bag and an extra layer or two, but you're good. I have been up as late as the end of the first week of November. And I got to see winter roll in, and it's awesome. awesome, but it's also like you are starting to play with the edge of it being dangerous. You know, like winds intense enough to bend your whole tent over so it touches your shoulder while you're lying down. But then, you know, a sunrise and a morning that, you know, like heaven would envy, honestly. It's cool up there. I love the weather up there. That's part of why I go, is I just love the weather up here. So what are trail conditions like? They are really pretty good. This is an example of what I would consider trail that is not really good for the thru hike. But let me stay on the trail conditions. Most of the trail, especially from here to Santa Barbara, is well traveled. It's going to have some blowdown, but you're not going to get like really intense washouts. You may have to flip over a down tree now and again. There's a part between what I call Stewart Pond and a little bit past where you go up to Bernard Lake before you get to Cave Creek on Skyline. That has some fallen trees. You may get a couple bruises. You might tear your pants. I highly, by the way, really recommend that you bring hiking pants that have zippable pockets, because otherwise the scenario of you losing your phone comes into play. And I've had that happen, but we're not going to tell that story. Anyway, this right here I want to talk about, because if you looked at the maps of how to get from Santa Fe to Taos, you'd probably say, you should take Skyline Trail, and you should just pretty much follow it, at least for the south half. The thing is that this is Skyline Trail between Horsethief Meadow and Rito Pero Trail up in the Pecos. Does anyone know this section of trail? Yeah. So this burned in the Gerosa fire in 2013. When I went through and did the thru hike the first time, this was a little bit different because it was still so new that the only way through, because this thing is a dispersed log pile, and I've run into 4 people now who are really experienced outdoors people or long distance trail runners who have had difficult, verging on scary experiences in this section of trail. It will slow you down, it will bang you up, it's a burn, there's something weird about it. The thru hike no longer goes through there. And so I get a lot of questions with people especially really fit people who just want to do it as fast as possible. They're like, I don't want to go down a pitch wall, I want to just streak forward. And so I really recommend you go down to Tanchuela, you follow Cave Creek and not go do Skyline between Horsethief Meadow and Rito Pero. The phenomenal people of the New Mexico Outdoor Volunteers, do you guys know the acronym? Yeah. Thank you. They have done some work on this trail, but they still haven't gotten all the way through. And so I do recommend the route that's in the guidebook and in my materials to just go down Cave Creek Trail until you hit Panchuela Creek, and then go Doc Willer up until you run in. You'll pass Rito Pero on your left, and then just keep going until you hit Jack's Creek, and then go the standard way up to Pecos Baldy. It's just a lot easier. There's more water. Chillness abides. So again, I mentioned the weather. For you all, if you are day hikers or you haven't spent a lot of time up in the high mountain lakes, it is not impossible to unzip your tent in the morning and have the ground be covered with hail. Hailstorms are pretty common, and so nothing to freak out over, but be ready. The wind can also be alarming, and then there's the altitude. I'm not going to dwell on altitude because you all live here, obviously, or nearby, but people from the East Coast, I had a young man last year, the sort of guy who can run 20 miles, damn near invincible, who got taken off the trail at the end of the first day because he assumed that the altitude thing didn't apply to him, and he was fine, but he had to be taken off the trail, which sucks. So if your friends are in town, slow down. There's stuff about this in the guidebook. My best advice is just give yourself time and drink a ton of water and get some good electrolytes that you really like that you'll actually use. How fit would I need to be? And so, as you can see here, this is not like running a marathon fitness. Part of my work with the thru-hike is convincing people who look at it and say, I should never do that. That yeah, you can do that. It's a matter of training, but you can absolutely do that. And again, you don't have to be like super fast. You don't have to do it all at once. And it's really quite attainable, but it is high up. You know, there's big chunks of it that are over 11,000 feet. What gear do I need? Really nothing terribly special. I have run into one person who carries a bear canister. If you feel the need to do that, that's fine. I have traveled in grizzly country. We don't have grizzlies here anymore. We killed them all. And so we only have the black bears. And honestly, I've been out in the woods for 20 years here. I've seen one bear. I wish I would see more bears, honestly. But I do use a bear hang. I'm really tidy with my food, but I don't think you need a bear canister. But it's everybody's, whatever your comfort level is, it makes you happy, you do that. There's extensive gear lists on both the website for free and in the guidebook. And if you want more information about that, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. Resupply, very key. Should you be doing this all the way through, you will want stuff because carrying 2 weeks of food will slow you down. And so I got really lucky a couple months ago, and I finally got one of the Trey-Ritos storage units. And if you don't know Trey-Ritos, it's off 518. It's like the Sipapu part of the world. And so the Santa Fe to Taos members resupply is a 12 by 24 storage unit. But if you become a member, you can ship yourself a box. I will receive the box. I will take the box up to the members resupply, give you a code, and then I'll give you a second code for the storage unit. I cannot, unfortunately, make this public access because there's people's things in there, and also because we're setting up a very simple wilderness store. And so basically, it's like whatever you all might need if you were rolling through Trey-Ritos. So like, if your tent got shredded, if your sleeping bag got whatever, if your dog peed all over your sleeping bag, anyway, things go wrong. And so food, fuel, medical gear, and whatever else members want. And so that's one of my big projects for this year, is to get that all stocked up so we can have whatever you guys need. There won't be any money in the storage unit, so you won't pay the storage unit, but maybe we'll work out like a Venmo system. And that way, take what you need, keep going, we'll figure it out. And so that's why I can't have it be public, is because I kind of need to know who's using it. But there's that. There's also Sipapu Ski and Summer Resort. These guys are awesome. The problem with Sipapu is that it is about a little bit over 2 miles of a walk down 518 from where you come out on the trail at Agua Piedra. Sipapu would be like over here. And so it's modestly dangerous. I'm not gonna lie, it's not optimal. There are no trails, incredibly, from Carson down into Sipapu. There is no public transportation. If you're gonna get from Agua Piedra to Sipapu, you're gonna walk if you're like unsupported. You could place a car, and the guidebook goes all into like placing cars and all the fun logistics of that. But Sipapu will hold your box for you for free. As you guys probably all know, they rent cabins. They have a restaurant, though I've never been able to be there when the restaurant is open. They have a store. They're really helpful and friendly. I stayed at one of their suites, and it was very lowbrow, but it was wild. It was like everything you would need if you rolled in. And it was a bed and 4 bunks and like a good kitchen with all the utensils. The water was hot, it was quiet, they had a wood stove, they take dogs. And so Sipafu really is a great resource as well. That is the end of my basic questions about the thru-hike. What I'm going to do is just try to condense this as much as possible, just to say, I and my occasional helpers and board members are a 501c3. I am the founder, the sole trail steward. I got into this because I had a reactive dog and I got tired of breaking up dog fights. And also I'm heavily introverted, and so I just sought out, the lesser traveled trails, the quiet places. And over the years, it became really obvious that there was of course there was a way. There's 80 ways from just Santa Fe to Taos. And I just chiseled away at it and tried to make it better and better and document it better and better. And I'm here. And next year, we may have a better trail and better documentation and volunteers. And I don't even know where this is going to go. I just work here. So this is what, these are the resources that I have right now. The website has a ton of information. The membership program, as you heard about, basically once you're a member, if you email me or call me, I'm there for you. So I try to tier it out, but I really want, one of my big goals this year is obviously to have a bunch of people do the thru-hike. And so if you're a member and you need something or you have a question, I'm your girl. I'll do the best I can, or I'll find you somebody. The bi-weekly newsletter, that's sent every other Sunday. That is the best way to find out what's really happening with the thru-hike and trail conditions and all that. And as soon as I'm done being in a publishing mode, I'm going to be on the trail, I swear to God. And because it's time. And so I do post to Instagram, I cross-post to Facebook, YouTube videos are forthcoming. As you can see, the guidebook. Did you hear there's a guidebook? Yeah, that's great. What? That looks good. Anyway, so there's a guidebook, and I appreciate all you buying it locally. I grade out Amazon. Or you can just email me. I want to be helpful. And I want to ask you guys all this because I did get my guiding permit. I've been a wolfer for over a decade. I've done search and rescue, ham radio, et cetera, et cetera. If you could raise your hand just to tell me if you would be interested. Would you be interested in guided hikes or even doing a guided trip from plaza to plaza? Okay. Would you be interested in doing that this year? Would you be interested in it if it was only the second half of the thru-hike, so only Santa Barbara to Taos Plaza? Is the last week of August, the first week of September fit with you?
Maybe.
All right, you should talk to me after, because I was going to not do this, but if there's actual interest in it, I will find a way. So that is all the spiel. How can I help you?
How do you do a drop if you start at Santa Barbara?
How do you do a drop if you start at Santa Barbara?
So you drive to Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Are you going to do, is it a round trip?
No.
So
How do you get back to Santa Barbara?
How would they get back? Well, there's the blue bus. But there's also,
how do you do it?
what is it? It's in the guidebook, I'm forgetting the name, but there's a company that shuttles mountain bikers around. I've used them, I'm sorry I'm spacing on the name, it is in the guidebook. But they would be the people to bring you from, if you could afford it, you wanted to do it, they would bring you from Taos back to Santa Barbara. That would be an ideal, place the car sort of thing. I am not going to be offering shuttle services from Santa Barbara. Are you talking about a guided hike, or if you, Joe on the street, wanted to go from Santa Barbara to Taos Plaza?
Whatever way there is to do the hike. Is so you can get back to your car. That's the only.
All right, well, if you were doing the whole thing from Santa Fe Plaza to Taos Plaza, you would want the blue bus, which is free. Do y'all know about the blue bus? The blue bus is the blue bus is free. The blue bus has a really good website. The blue bus runs all over northern New Mexico. You can get from Santa Fe to Taos in about 2 hours on the blue bus. Am I not answering, because this is could be a long logistical explanation, and I don't want to get too far afield, but am I helping? I mean, or do you want to talk after?
Just assert that there's a way.
There's a way.
Okay.
There's like 5 ways. There's always like 5 ways to do things. Hi.
Hey, at your members locker, have you thought about having a hiker box? Do you know about hiker boxes where people, I don't want this, I'm sick of eating it.
I love it. That's genius. Yes, we're doing it. You just made it happen. Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, great. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for doing this, first of all. This is cool. I'm curious, one thing, how to become a member, and then also if you have thought at all about trying to get the map on one of the apps
Yeah.
that you can access it that way.
You become a member, you can go to the santafetahouse.org website and buy it through there. That's been so that's how to do it. It's a Stripe checkout, so it should be pretty straight up. What's the second question?
Just getting the trail map accessible on a
Yes.
trail app.
Yeah, that is like on my short list. If you want to like email me and say, Pam, have you done that yet? Like by Monday. It is. It's because I have all the GPX files, and so yeah, that's pretty easy to do. And I just haven't done it yet.
I'll email you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate. That's a great reminder, actually. Hi.
Is there a fastest snow time?
No, there is no fastest known time. Until you do it. What is the fastest known time? Which is a fun question. People have told me like, oh my God, this would be the most amazing like race course. And I'm like, awesome, I'll help however I can, but I'm not doing it. But yeah, that would be really cool. That brings up too, like, if you do the through hike, I would so like to talk to you. I would really like to know your experience. This is all an ongoing iteration of like, let's make it better, let's make it better, let's make it better. And so if you do even parts of it, or you have ideas about the guidebook or anything else, please email me. I would so appreciate it.
Are there markings along the trail, like the blazes on the Appalachian Trail?
No, I got off on the wrong foot with the Forest Service asking about that. No, they're not. There was something, hi.
On the website, you mentioned that there's a bikepacking trail in progress. What's the state of that?
Yeah, I'll tell you just right here. I have it on Gaia. It's fundamentally like the high road, but with some adaptations, because you don't want to go up the highway. So get yourself to Tasuke, do the access road, it would be on the west side, go up and then hit Nambe and go up from there. And then when you reach like Sipaku part of the world, go over until you hit 76, go up 76, that will hook you up with South Boundary Trail, and then you're in like mountain biker Mecca, and just roll into Taos. And then I believe for mountain bikers, the end of the route is at the Taos Mountain Brewery, so I've been told.
So it's mostly on paved roads, not on.
Well, you can't do the mountain biking thing in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So that's how it. Most mountain bikers don't like doing 3,000 feet of elevation a day. And so that's the state of that's the answer. Hi.
Is there cell phone coverage over any of it or some of it? Or?
It's spotty, but there is cell phone coverage. There are map overlays that if I had a good to do. I had a good reminder to do something like that. I could probably get you a cell phone thing. I personally travel with a Garmin InReach Mini. They're really good backup, but I go alone, and so that's another reason why I take it. All right. Hi. Yes. Yes. Can you take your dog the entire way? And the answer is yes, you can. You know, it's supposed to be leashed. Yeah, but you know all that. You know all that. I have had really great luck putting a bear bell on my dog when we were out, because that way, if he takes off, I know where he is. He's always leashed. Right. Cool. Okay, good. Yeah, anyway. Now said, in the back.
Which direction has the lesser elevation gauge?
I don't, you know, honestly, why don't I just be candid and tell you I don't know. I haven't done that, but that's a pretty easy thing to do. Yeah, that's a great to-do item. Thank you. I'll post that, and then I'll share it on social media, and everybody will. Thank you. That's a great question.
Which is higher, Taos or Santa Fe?
It's the same. They're both 7,000 feet. But there's a. Have you seen the some wonderful? I had people help me with the guidebook, and one person suggested that I do elevation profiles. Have you seen the elevation profile for the thru-hike? It's fun. It's like, it's a little a little sawtoothing, but it's good for us, right? Hi.
Could you describe the route, or do you have a map that shows the route?
I have many maps that show the route. I could tell you about it. Is that okay? You all good with me doing like the 3-minute walkthrough of the route? Yeah. All right, so, here, we'll do that. So, you start from the southeast corner of the plaza, which would be over there. There is a marker for the end of the Old Santa Fe Trail. It's a gray marker. It's about that high. You walk down past the church, the spiral staircase. You hit Alameda. You walk up this way towards along the Santa Fe River. When you get to Patrick Smith Park, the entry to it, start looking a little bit right, or left rather, bad sign. And then you walk up Camino Pequeno into, do any of you know the little corridor trail that goes along Camino Pequeno? Yeah. I almost wept when I discovered that, because that was a major hookup for like, how am I going to get them from the Dale Ball Trails to Plaza? But, so you pick that up, and you basically go up and go until you see the sign for the Upaya Nature Trail. Go take the left up towards what used to be Cerro Gordo Park, and I can never remember the new name. You do walk along the road for like 0.2 miles. You hit Arroyo Polo Trailhead. You go up Dale Ball Trails until you hit Sierra del Norte. You go Sierra del Norte, like up over the hill, down, up over the hill, down. You hit Little Tasuke Creek. You go up towards I guess some people are calling it Little Tasuke Trailhead. It's where that jogger had a medical event not too very recently. From there you go up over to the top of the hill, and you'll pick up Vaughn and Saddleback. You go down along, I believe it's Vaughn Trail 399, and then you pick up Windsor. You're basically going to follow Windsor all the way up until you get to Borrego Bear Wallow, that triangle that's a very popular hike. Continue on Windsor, and you're basically following Windsor all the way up to the ski basin. And you get to the ski basin and the Windsor Trail, you say, hi, I just finished section 1. You keep going. And so you go up over the switchbacks, past the Wilderness Gate, all the way to Catherine, just to simplify. We'll go a little faster. You go down the back of Catherine, hit Windsor Creek, take the left towards Stewart. You continue on Stewart until you run into Windsor Ridge Trail. That would go down and bring you down into Cowles. You want to take the left, go on Skyline, continue on Skyline for, 3, 4, or 5 hours, depending on your speed. You'll pass Bernarden Lake on your left. You'll hit Cave Creek, and follow Cave Creek Trail down. Don't take the left to Horse Thief Meadow, but you want to take the right down Cave Creek Trail. You eventually run into Panchuelo Creek, which is big. It's like 13 feet wide. You'll take the right, like you're heading towards Panchuelo Campground. About a mile short of Panchuelo Campground, you will have Dock Wheeler come in on your left. Take Dock Wheeler up. It is a big ol' up. But you will cross, you'll eventually come into this gorgeous aspen, really wet forest, surprisingly. Keep going, you will pass Rito Trail on your left. Keep going on Dock Wheeler, you will come into what I always want to call Jack's Creek Campground, because there's so many freaking, it's like this huge hub of campsites, and it's the intersection of Jack's Creek and Dock Wheeler. Go straight, so you want to basically follow Jack's Creek like you're going to Baldy, because you're going to Baldy, and you'll roll into Pecos Baldy. For Pecos Baldy, you take Skyline up over the Trail Riders Wall. If you've never seen the Trail Riders Wall, try to do it before you die. Really. And from Trail Riders Wall, you'll go down, you'll hit Jose Vigil Trail. You want to take the right when you get there. You'll come down. I can't remember the name of the trail right now. It's A something. But basically follow it on, get yourself to Truchas Lake, Lower Truchas Lake. Camp there because it's awesome. Then continue on. You will eventually come up to Beatty's Trail on your left. By then you will have passed the Santa Barbara Divide. Like it'll be way up over here. There is a shortcut, so if you are afraid or the weather is weird or you don't like really steep trail that you're walking along, I have video of it. You might want to use this shortcut. It appears on maps. It's marked as unmaintained. Everybody tells me it's lovely. I've always gone up Beatty's Trail because the views of it. Actually, the cover of the guidebook is Beatty's Trail. And so you will come up to the divide, pause a moment, be happy that you're on the divide, make your way down the switchbacks, get through some rough, weird trail. As you come down, you'll cross Rio Santa Barbara, and you'll continue through what I used to call the infinity field and see a lot of cows, but it's like a really endless field. It's gorgeous though, especially look behind you. You will eventually cross, I think it's 3 bridges on your way into Santa Barbara. From Santa Barbara you go to the free parking lots. And if you're standing at the free parking lots, there's like the 4 parking spaces, and then there's the bigger section. You're going to cross Rio Santa Barbara. If you didn't know to look for it, you wouldn't see the marker for, I believe, Trail 25, which is Indian Canyon Trail, or Indian Creek Trail. 27, thank you, you're awesome. Don't help me though, I'm gonna do this. So you take Indian Canyon up. There's a really cool place to camp there. It is a bit of a climb. You will run into Bear Mountain Trail coming in from the left. You want to take the right. You're going to go all the way up to Ripley Point, come down, walk through Los Estrellas, which is like this boggy pond, but actually a really nice place to stay. I was there one night in a lightning storm, and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna die. But it didn't happen, but like the weather up there is fun. And so you roll down Agua Piedra, like following Agua Piedra Creek into Agua Piedra Campground. You will cross the bridge at Agua Piedra Campground, take the right. You'll go through the field. Is this boring? No. Okay. I just want to be sure. And there is an interpretive trail along that parallels 518, so you don't have to walk along 518, except for like the very last little bit. And it's actually about the beavers, and so there's this marvelous sign that says "Gnaw or Die" that you walk by. And so gnaw or die, keep going. And then you do walk along 518. It's really brief though, and it's straight, and the shoulder is like 20 feet wide. So it's like 0.2 miles. It's okay. It's a road, but it's okay. If you chose to, you could stop at the Santa Fe Taos members resupply. But if you wanted to keep going, you would go up Trail what is it, like 429 or something like that? Okay, good. But you go up La Cueva. You'll go through a little clutch of houses on the way. There's a nice little creek for a little while. You'll climb a bit, and then you'll flatten out. You'll go through all these lovely wildflower fields, roll into what I call La Cueva Field. If you've never been up there, that's an awesome day hike. The whole loop, actually, I think it's in the guidebook, because it's beautiful, and there's an excellent creek that runs right along it, so it's like epic camping. You will walk through La Cueva Field until you pass the old metal bedspring. It's a bed. I know, it's fun. There's a cabin too. You'll pass the cabin, but the real marker, you need to pay attention to the bedspring, because the right up to La Cueva Lake can be hard to find. The trail gets a little iffy in there, but it's like 250 feet past where the bedspring is. And then you go up. It's not a fun up, like for mountain bikers, you would hate this trail. It's one of those trails that's become a chute over time. And so I had to brush down it one day because the weather was turning. So, I mean, it's not a very good trail. You'll make it. We can stop. Then you walk up into this gorgeous like this sequence of really big fields that have nice views. You will eventually walk by La Cueva Lake, which is a very shallow bog on your right. You'll continue up Ojitos Trail, and I can't remember what number Ojitos Trail is, but you'll come up to Ojitos Trail.
182.
182. Okay, thank you. And then you basically roll up Ojitos Trail. There's a number of little rills, so you'll be in good stead with water. But mind the last one. It's marked on the maps and in the guidebook, because that will begin where the water gets short. You'll cross over the field, pick up 442. From there, it is, like 8 miles on 442. You will go through a little bit of the Sardinias Canyon fire burn, but it's not very far. Actually, a video of it on the website. So it's a burn, but it's not all that bad. The views are really nice. You roll down, you'll hit Rio Grande del Rancho, go up, what forest road is it? 438? It's not 438, that's later on.
439A.
439A, thank you so much. And so that'll twist and turn. You will come up at the top of 438, and make sure you're paying attention, because you have just gone into Carson. And the wonderful thing about Carson is there are roads that don't appear on maps in Carson, and there are roads that on the maps that don't appear like in reality. And there's all these old logging tracks that have been cut in. Some of them are really great. Some of them are like really thick, and so Carson is very maze-like. I recommend a GPS. I do. And so you're gonna follow that along until it's 2.8 miles from the beginning of the road that you all just told me about, the 439A, to the beginning of what I call the connector. So the connector is not on any hiking maps, but it is on the national map. It is one of these basically old forest logging roads. It is gorgeous. I don't think anybody really knows about it. It's wide. Clearly they brought big equipment through at one time, because it's cambered, it's wide, there's water. You basically roll down there roll down that trail until you hit Rio de la Ola. You'll pick up 438, go up Bernardin Lake. From Bernardin Lake, you come back down past the Viewer Pond, go down 438. Then it's, what is it, like 279 or something? And then round into Rio Chiquito Bridge. You'll go west down 437, even though you're tired and sick of this woman talking. And you'll come to the entrance of Drake Canyon, take your right up Drake Canyon. When you get to the top of Drake Canyon, you'll take the left on Ojitos Trail. Watch that weave in. You'll come to the intersection of 164 and 164B, at which point you're basically in El Nogal in mountain biker land. Roll into El Nogal, walk on a very unfortunate, 0.3 miles along Route 64, get over and walk from Witt Road, which is nice and mellow and safe. Hit Taos Cow, hopefully they're open and you can just gorge on great food. And then it's Kit Carson all the way into the plaza.
question?
Oh, yes.
Can you explain that the other direction? No. No, you mentioned bridges. Are there any places you have to ford?
Santa Barbara, like that beginning of Santa Barbara when you go into Indian Canyon. That's the deepest part of it, and it can move fast.
Okay.
People fish there too. That's like the one part where I want river shoes usually.
Okay.
If you had someone with you, you could walk in your river shoes and then like throw the river shoes back at them so you didn't have to carry them. Hi.
How many times have you done it?
In pieces, 8 or 9, I don't know. A lot. Probably like my photos are a better example of my memory. I have, I think at this point, about 7,000 photos. So yeah, is that okay? Is that a good answer? Okay. Hi.
Are there sections that are good for skiing?
Ooh, I love that question. Well, Aspen Vista. Agua Piedra might be really nice. Give me your email. Let me think about that. I can't do that too good on the fly. If you could, I don't think you want to get up on those forest roads when it's snowy though. Let me think about that. That's a wonderful question. Thank you. We are closing in on 10 minutes till, and I believe Travel Book closes at 6, right? Are you okay with us a couple more questions, or should we close this down?
A couple more questions, but
Okay. Great, yeah, and if you want, we can close early. There is, like I said, merch over there, and so there are bookmarks and stickers and postcards and whatnot. Any questions? Oh, hi.
I read your guidebook. So what is a national map? Is that a US map?
Yeah, the national map is your tax dollars at work. Google the national map. It's GIS data. It is the bomb. I mean, if you're into maps, it's really detailed. I didn't follow all of the national map route because the actual national map route, had issues. It got washed out. It's kind of not ideal. But I followed it mostly, but that's how I found it when it was like February, and I'm like, there's a way, that's the national map. It's awesome. Check it out. Are we good? All right, I cannot thank you